Rafa Nadal. Feeling good, feeling relaxed, in a happy place. And he should be. Not only is he one match away from a crucial step that he will have to take if he's going to go down in history as the greatest tennis player of all time, as the GOAT. Not only is he one step away from that, but he's putting up serving numbers that, if you look at the numbers like I often like to do, especially when I'm pointing out why Federer will win a tournament, if I look at these same numbers, there is no denying that Rafa is in position to win here. Right now, for the first serve win percentage, Rafa Nadal is on top of the leaderboard. You take all the matches of the U.S. Open average together, he's winning 81%. When you see Djokovic and Nadal win at majors, they're usually still not on top of that leaderboard. To give you an idea, I'm not counting people who are out of the tournament. Kyrgios, John Isner, 82%. Rafa only 1% behind their first serve win percentage. Of course, they are gone. Medvedev, he ain't gone. He's at 77%. That's a significant drop. But of course, we've all heard you're only as good as your second serve. Rafa Nadal, on top. Second serve win percentage as well, 59%. When we see Roger Federer around 60% win on second, 59, I believe, the last time Federer won Wimbledon, he was around 59. We say, that's a lock. You take the high numbers on first serve, you put them with the second serve numbers, it's over. Look at Rafa Nadal and the way he plays the rallies, the way he jumps on serves. What reason is there to doubt Rafa from getting to number 19? But I'm shooting this video moments after Serena Williams just lost to a young upstart, Bianca Andreescu. Is it possible that Medvedev will finally end the streak? I think it's 12 majors right now, won by a member of the Big Three in a row. Is it possible we'll see something just like with the women's final, where the young upstart takes over tonight? Find out on today's show. It's a sad day for the Fed fans, let me just tell you. You look at those numbers and you don't see a path for the upset over Nadal. There's no path. Today on the show, a brief show again because there's really not a whole lot to say. Time is catching up with Federer. Rafa's going to get to 19. It looks almost certain. And Greg Ruzetsky, noted tennis expert, is saying Roger Federer will never win again. Meanwhile, Danny Medvedev, the evil villain of the U.S. Open, says Rafa has eaten me alive before, but now that I know what to expect from Rafa after losing to him in Canada, I'm totally prepared. And Tim Henman has a prediction on who will win tonight. We'll talk about his prediction, and that's about it. So first up, and by the way, there were some bogus comments. If I have time, I'll pop them on the screen. Saying, oh, you think Berrettini's going to beat Nadal? So pathetic. You're such a Federer fan. It's so pathetic, dude. When did I say Berrettini was going to win? I said he could. I said he had the serve and the forehand firepower to beat anyone. Of course, Rafa was going to find a way around that. There were some holes in the Berrettini game, as we all saw. And I believe I said Rafa wins in 4, which he pretty much did. I mean, Berrettini should have won the first set. And even if he did, no way Rafa doesn't win number 2, 3, and 4 sets. So I was right, by technicality. Now, if you look at Medvedev, he is Novak Djokovic with a big serve. I don't know who said that, but that is a great way to describe it. I heard it somewhere before. Medvedev hits the ball in the center of the strings very well. Hits the ball deep. Tough to get a ball past him. He's taller than Djokovic. He's not going to move quite as well as Djokovic, but for his size, he moves very well. He's very predictable. He's going to hit everything cross-court. He's going to hit a lot of safe shots, but he has the depth and the accuracy on his strings, the cleanliness of contact. He hits such a clean ball, very Joker-like, that he's always going to give you something that's not easy to attack. Rafa Nadal, probably the greatest of all time, maybe behind Federer, of finding ways to attack you all the time. They do it a little differently. Roger gets a great serve in or a sneaky return that catches you off guard in some way and then pounces on you. Rafa hangs with your best stuff, as we saw him do with Berrettini, gets your best balls back, hangs around, pushes you back with his pure strength and will, and then he moves in and crunches you. This year at the U.S. Open, we see Rafa Nadal much more willing to move in sooner than he usually does and crunch you. What about the Medvedev serve? Well, the Medvedev serve, it's better than Djokovic. We saw what Djokovic did to Rafa on a faster hard court at the Australian Open. But this is still the U.S. Open. Therefore, even though this is not as slow as last year we've heard, it's still slower than the Australian Open. It's still a slower hard court. And as I covered in the intro to the show, we know Rafa Nadal is actually serving better than Medvedev. But I do think Medvedev has a chance tonight. I probably, if I have to, I'll save my prediction for later. First, let's go to Mr. Medvedev. Some people have been calling him that. It's kind of a funny name. Daniel Medvedev, the BS Russian. That's our name for him here. Rafa Nadal has eaten me in the Montreal final. This is from tennisworldusa.org, of course, written by Luigi Gatto. I had one break point, then he got a break, but I only lost with one break. Then he was only going harder, faster, stronger, and I was only going down. It's great that I have this experience playing him in the finals of a Masters. I know what to expect now, says Medvedev from Rafa. I know how to prepare for it. It's really unusual. I think this year, before it, I should have played like 3 lefties in all year. But now, I've already played 3 in this tournament, maybe a 4th one, which we get the 4th one, Rafa Nadal. Just amazing. Of course, it helps a lot that I played 3 lefties before with completely different styles, all of them. Kind of getting used to it. If Rafa wins, which he did, meaning if Rafa wins and makes it to the final to face Medvedev, if Rafa wins, it's going to help me. That's probably never been said before by anybody. And the rest is about him giving the middle finger to the U.S. Open crowd. So we've already been there before. So I think Medvedev has a good point. This is a great attitude to have from the young guy. And that's why, let's hear Tim Henman's prediction before I make mine. Rafa Nadal will take on Danny Medvedev. Tim Henman is expecting a straight sets win for Rafa Nadal in the final of the U.S. Open and would be surprised if the BS Russian, I added the BS, he said the Russian, opponent Danny Medvedev won even a single set. Would be surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Rafa wins in 3 either, though. If he can hold serve, Medvedev, stay in some of those rallies and be aggressive, then he can establish himself. If Rafa comes out firing and makes a fast start, things get very tricky for Medvedev. Rafa has been fantastic. The experience has been a big part to play, meaning, he's Rafa. He's been playing forever. If Medvedev is to have an impact, I think the first 5 to 7 games are very important. Medvedev, though, he's in a great position. A straight sets victory didn't take much out of him over Dimitrov, he means. Then a day off tomorrow, can recharge the batteries for one last big push. Oh, that was a big deal. Beating Dimitrov in 3 sets, that definitely gives Medvedev a chance. Saving this BS for next. And that's why I think Danny Medvedev will beat Rafa next year, or maybe the year after. I think it's coming. We saw Bianca Andreescu take down Serena, and I think it's going to get harder for Djokovic and Federer as well. I still think Federer has a shot to win a major, but like Rafa said in his press conference, he had some quick note to everyone out there. A show will be made tomorrow only for the patron saints of Coffee Break Tennis. If you're not a patron saint, it's very simple to become one. Go to patreon.com/Coffee Break Tennis. We'll have a show right after the final tomorrow as fast as I can get it out. So hopefully within an hour or 2 after the final is over. And we'll talk about everything that happened. And for everybody else, it'll be on YouTube for the whole world on Monday, where I'll just do a general wrap-up show then. But my initial reaction to what happens tomorrow, that'll be the patron saint show only. Rafa's basically acknowledging the end is coming. It's soon. He knows it. He's 33. Joker's 32. Roger's 38. The end is coming, and he doesn't care if he gets on top. He wants to be on top. I'm sure everyone remembers the quote he had months ago saying, "I'm very proud of my career. You have to enjoy what you have. If you're always wanting your neighbor's house because they got a better house, or your neighbor's car, your neighbor's," I think he said boat. Rafa loves the fishing. If you're always thinking like that, you'll never be happy. And Rafa is a man who says he's very happy with what he has achieved. And yes, he would like to have the most slams after it's all said and done. But if he doesn't, he's okay with that. And that is a great attitude to have. And that's why I think Medvedev, he's shown enough to think, okay, this is a guy who's going to win majors. And he's probably going to beat Rafa and Roger and Joker at some point at some big tournament coming up in the next couple years. But tomorrow, Rafa Nadal does not lose to Medvedev. There's no way it happens. The guy's come too far. He's got the right attitude. He's playing the right way. And as a Federer fan, I'm so torn because I like Rafa so much that I kind of want him to win. Me and Rafa, we're the same age. I'm only about a month and a half older than the guy. It's fun to see somebody my age do great things over people in their early 20s, especially. a big part of me is cheering for Rafa, which is why I think it's so funny when I hear all these comments, people saying that I am so biased to Federer and I want Rafa to lose so badly that it's disgusting. And another part of me does want Rafa to lose tomorrow. I'm kind of happy either way. Plus, there's one more reason I'm happy, and this is the last thing we'll do on today's show. I don't think Roger Federer is done. Take a listen to Daniela Huntakova and Greg Ruzetsky. Huntakova says it's not only being a set up, talking about Federer's loss to Dimitrov, it's the 5-set match record he's having, meaning it's getting worse now. We are starting to see a little bit of the factor of getting older. He's getting a little bit tired. I hate to say it because he is a perfectionist in everything he does, but last night in the 5th set, he said just looks so really tired out there. Greg Ruzetsky chimes in. He can win 5-set matches, but can he do it back-to-back? I mean, we've heard all this stuff before. If you look at Djokovic and Rafa, they're going from strength to strength, meaning I guess they still are pretty fresh for the next 5-setter. Roger comes through a 5-set match. He's pretty much toast. The next one is what they're saying there. There could be some truth to that. Roger's not going to be as good. I still think Roger can win more than one 5-set match in a tournament. When you give away 5 years to somebody, that is a lot of time. At 38 years of age, Federer still plays the best tennis I've ever seen anybody playing at that age. I'd love to see a magical story, but time is catching up with him. I don't think he will win another major. At the start of the tournament, we had the question, who was going to win the most? I said Federer would win 20, blah, blah, blah. All right, heard enough of that. Thanks, Greg. Hit the music because we're getting out of here. There is one key. There's 2 ways to look at this. You can say the Greg Ruzetsky route, and you can also say what I'm saying. Roger Federer, 2013, back problems, loses early at the U.S. Open. Roger Federer, 2017, back problems, loses early at the U.S. Open. Roger Federer, 2019, maybe it's going to happen a little more frequently, but it's not going to happen at every tournament. And don't forget, in 2013, lots of people, lots of Huntakovas and Rusetskis out there said that Roger Federer was toast. Same thing with 2017. Even though he had the great year, there was people already saying, oh, there goes the back. It's all over for Roger. Then he wins the 2018 Australian Open not much longer after that happens. No reason to count Roger Federer out yet. Don't forget how close he was to winning Wimbledon. Don't be shocked if he manages to do it next year. It's not over yet. Like Rafa said, the end is coming. It's coming. But we're not there yet, and we still have a few more surprises and a whole lot more excitement. So enjoy the match tomorrow. Rafa may very well win tomorrow, but if you are a Fed head like myself, be so proudly and keep your head up because good things are still coming your way. See ya!